Hello there. Welcome to the Word Café live show. How are you? Beautiful. I'm great. I'm doing well here. The month of April has been amazing, but we are in another, the May month, where we talk about, workers and work and what have you. But before we go into that, I'd like to welcome you the way we normally do it on the show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good everything, wherever you are joining me on the surface of the earth today. Yes, you know how we say it. This is the space where we come to lean on one another's experience toward forge a positive path. We are here again. May is here, and everything about May points to one thing and one thing only: work, 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 and all that. And we have a lot of things, happening in the world of work today, the changes and what have you. Today on the show, I want to talk about something very, what I consider special: coaching. Why do you need coaching? And honestly, I have an amazing personality that will do this with me on the show today. Yes, her name is Tiffany Barnard. Ah, yes, you heard that name. You want to see her like I want to do. She has an amazing story. She's a coach. I mean, she's been doing this for a while now. I'll just keep that. When she comes on the show, she's going to tell us all about herself and, all of that. You want to see her, don't you? I want to see her. Now, let me bring her on. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? And there she is. Hi, Tiffany.
Hi, Amax. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and thank you for that amazing intro. It's like I'm just so happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for responding to this invitation. It means so much to me and my crew on the Word Cafe. So before we go into anything, let's get to meet Tiffany. Who is she? Who is Tiffany Barnard? Let's get to meet her.
Well, who am I? I am all sorts of things. I am a mum. I am a wife. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a granddaughter. I'm an employer. I'm a life coach. But mainly, I'm me. I'm me. I'm Tiffany.
Mm,
I love people. I love communicating. I love meeting people. I love what I do. I found my passion. I found my purpose. I have come a long way. I've had many life experiences. Not all of them pleasant,
mm,
but all of them with purpose. All of them have given me tools that I'm able to use now as a coach. My story started. Um, my story started in Africa.
mm,
I was born in England, but I went back to Tanzania when I was 1 month old. I am a third generation Tanzanian.
mm,
My father and my grandfather were born in Tanzania,
mm,
and that's where I was raised. And I set up a company there. I still have a company there, although I now live in Spain. Life has
okay.
brought me to Spain in
It's
Mallorca,
beautiful. Beautiful.
and yeah, my children are grown. Um, I came to Spain because my late husband got sick in Tanzania
Okay.
and he was unable to get the treatment that he needed there. So we went back to France. He unfortunately lost his battle 2 years later.
Mm,
My
sorry.
children were, thank you. My children were 9 and 13 at the time,
Wow.
and I was kind of lost, to be honest with you.
Mm,
I was facing a world. I'd met him when I was 20 years old. I was now 40 at the time.
whoa. Mm,
So it was facing a world alone, what I perceived to be alone.
mm,
At the same time, my parents, who were living in Oman, decided that they were going to move and come and live with me in France.
mhm,
My brother, who was living in England, also decided that he was going to come and live with me in France.
mm.
So we were all going to join together in the south of France in a place called Montpellier, where really none of us had anything to do there. But anyway, that's where we were going to be. And my brother got a phone call offering him a job here in Mallorca. So he
Oh,
came out to scope it out and called home and said, "You know what? I'm going to stay."
oh,
So I then came out and visited him with my kids, and we loved it. And I said, "Well, I don't understand why we're in France because there's nothing really there for us."
Mm.
I think I'm going to come and live here with you. To which my
Okay.
parents said, well, we're coming too. So that's where we are. We all ended up in Mallorca. And it was great. My kids were able to put down some roots. My daughter is now at university in Barcelona. My
Whoa.
son has just got a scholarship. He's going a little bit further.
Mm.
He's going to America. That's a whole thing at the moment for me. Letting
Okay.
letting go of my youngest so far away.
I can imagine that. Your story, you have an amazing story here, an amazing story. Now, I'd like us to start from the point of losing your husband. You've been together, like you said, for 20 years. You met him when you were 20, and he passed at about when you were 40. What, I mean, how did you handle that?
Honestly, I went into survival mode. Um,
Okay.
and in fact, it's a really interesting question that you asked, because the way that I handled it is the reason why I'm now also a communications coach. So
Mm.
the way that I handled it was I went into survival mode. I ignored all my emotions completely, because
Okay.
I was still, so I had two young children. I still was traveling every month back to Tanzania because I was running my business.
Mm.
It was a lot. There was a lot going on. And So I shut down emotionally. I shut down completely, and
Mm.
because I knew that if I allowed those emotions to come out, then it would be a floodgate and they would never stop.
Yeah.
The problem that I realize now is that me closing my emotions, shutting my emotions down, created a block for my children, in as much
Mm.
as they were seeing me being this seemingly strong person.
Mm.
I'm not so much as strong, but maybe in total denial. And they didn't want to show their emotions because mum wasn't showing her emotions. So
Mm.
it created a massive, great elephant in the room that nobody talked about for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So years later, and I'm talking about like 8 years later, 7, 8 years
Whoa.
later, when we started to, or when I started to get the courage, I think is probably the right word, to get the courage to start talking to my kids about what had happened and how they felt. And there was a lot of guilt that I felt, that I
Mm.
still feel from time to time, if I'm honest,
Mm.
about how I handled the situation. Because obviously, 10 years down the line, when you look back at yourself, there's
Yeah.
so many things that you would do differently. There's a lot of judgment
Mm.
there. Why
Yeah.
didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? So, of course, coaching has allowed me to understand that I can't judge myself. I'm a very
Mm.
different person now. I'm in a very different situation.
Yeah.
And looking back and judging myself, obviously, if I had been like I am today, then I would have done it differently, but I wasn't. And, realizing that I was doing the best that I could has helped me
Yeah.
to handle the guilt a little bit. But there was a lot of guilt there, so it took time to approach the subject with my children, and then there was stuff that we had to work through, all of us together,
Mm. Yeah.
and that's what really triggered me on the communication side of my coaching.
Now, listening to you, what one would say, she's a strong personality, but at the same time being vulnerable with us here now. So we are on this side now after all of this, and you are in the coaching business. What would you say to somebody who is going through what you had gone through, the best way to handle it? How would you walk us through? How would you, should I say, start that process with the person in terms of coaching now? Maybe it's a trauma victim or something, how would you start the process?
That's a really good question. Now, obviously, everybody who comes, all of my clients coming to me, they're all unique. We're all unique. You're
All
unique.
of us.
I'm unique. Even twins who are raised in the same way will
Mm.
fundamentally end up unique because
Mm.
of the way that they see the world.
Yeah.
And I'm not the expert in you or in any of my clients. I'm barely the expert of myself. So
Mm.
it's not for me to give answers. the way that my coaching works is that, first of all, I concentrate on the person in front of me, the
Yeah.
who's in front of me. What are they feeling?
Mm-hmm.
The story is important, it gives context, but I don't coach the story. So the question is, what is it? What is it that you feel you want to work on? What is it that you feel you want to achieve?
Mm.
What problem in your life is creating an obstacle? So we start at that, and then we work around that. I give you the space. I give
Mm-hmm.
you the space to be able to think, and I ask
Mm.
you what will hopefully be empowering questions, that will get you to maybe think on things that are happening in your life from a different perspective.
Mm.
Being able to maybe just shift. And one thing that coaching is fabulous for, okay, especially
Yeah.
my style of coaching,
Yeah.
is that it gives you clarity. And
Okay.
once you have clarity, you understand that you have choice in
Mm.
everything that you do. So you can choose how you feel, how you think, how you act, what you do. Everything is a choice.
Yeah.
We may feel that we have no choice. We may feel pressured into it. But really, if you think about every situation in your life when you've gone, I had no choice, the honest truth is that you did. Maybe the choice was difficult, maybe it was uncomfortable, maybe it wasn't ideal, but there was
Mm.
always a choice there. Very often it's difficult, so we take the easy way. But you have
Mm.
choice. And once you understand that you have choice, you can start really working towards sustainable change. So people who are coming to me and they're working through trauma, or they're working through loss, or they're working to communicate better with anybody. It could be
Mm.
their children, their
Yeah.
partners, their work colleagues. I think the first step in any journey is self acceptance.
Great. That word clarity, when you brought it out there, to make a better choice or to make any choice at all, you need clarity. I mean, you're not far from the truth. You need clarity. So when individuals say, I had no choice. Simply put, you were not clear on certain things. That's why. Because if you're sincere to yourself, the minute you have clarity, like a light bulb moment or something comes up there, and you see clearly, you have a better understanding of the situation, you come to see that I will make this choice, and really you're very spot on that. Now, recently, in the recent past, we've seen the coaching business begin to, like, should I say, take root in certain places. Yet certain people still look at it as, I don't understand what you're talking about. Coaching, it's overrated and all that. Now, doing this, I want to believe you've been in this for maybe say 5, 6, 10 years now. The business of coaching. From where you stand, what is the place of coaching in our society, be it corporate, be it or I mean personal, sporting, just name it. What is the place of coaching?
That is such a good question, because coaching is absolutely expanding and growing, year on year. I think there's more coaches now than there's ever been, and
Mm.
coaching is taking root, as you said, in the corporate world as well.
Yeah.
And I think our generation have been raised to get on with things. We've been
Hmm.
raised to really not question very much. We're
Yeah.
doers. We're doers. It's like something has to be done. We're going to find a way to do it. The emotions
Hmm.
will come in later. That's on a
Hmm.
personal side, and it's the same in the corporate world. There's historically, traditionally, if you like, there's no room for emotions in the corporate world. Emotions for our generation, both personally and professionally, often equal weakness.
Mm.
It's you shouldn't, when you're at work, you should be very professional and very focused and very, robotic. And
Mm.
I think now people are realizing, with the generations that are coming up, that mental health is a big deal.
Yes,
Mental
it is.
health needs to be addressed, needs to be honored and cared for. And I think that the pandemic has done a lot to highlight the importance of mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And coaches go a long way to supporting you in mental health, because very often, so first of all, coaches are, we just to clarify, because there's often a confusion between therapists and coaches. So I'm
Yeah.
not a therapist. A therapist will take you and deep dive into your past, okay? And you'll
Mm-hmm.
spend a lot of time in your past. You will focus on your past so that you can accept it, that you understand it, that you can digest it.
Mm-hmm.
When you've worked through your issues with your past, that's when you're actually ready to go forward with a coach. Coaches are always forward thinkers. We're there to support you to where you want to go.
Mm.
Okay. We
Yeah.
will, we will give you the space to do that. We will help you to find clarity, to identify the obstacles, and to be able to move forward. Sometimes we have to dip into the past because we need to. Very often in coaching, you find that there's a block, and we're not quite sure where it's coming from. Those blocks
Mm-hmm.
are always rooted in the past. So it
Mm.
could be an issue in your childhood, one thing that somebody said to you that has created an idea that you have today, that you're not good
Mm-hmm.
enough to do X, Y, and Z. So we need to understand that, but it's not a focus in the past. It's understanding the past to be able to move forward. So
Okay.
coaches are there. They're very, very good when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you feel stressed. Stress acts like blinkers, okay? Because I work a lot with energy and the different energy
Mm.
levels that we have. That, are we a victim? Are we angry? Are we,
Mm.
conciliatory? Are we looking for synergy? Is it a win-win? How are we showing up? So when we're stressed, our reaction is always going to be blinkered. It's going to be very limited, because stress
Mm.
does that. We can't see the options.
Mm-hmm.
It's also going to be negative. There's no
Yeah.
point. Anything that I do, it never works out. Life's unfair. Look at so and so, they're so lucky. um, is very often angry when we're under stress.
Yeah.
You feel that you need to beat everybody down in order to succeed. So just working through that with a coach and raising your level of energy into something that's a little bit more constructive, and
Mm-hmm.
understanding that you can work together. When you get to that point, when the stress comes down, the possibilities open.
Mm.
You can suddenly see options.
Beautiful. The what I say delineation between a therapist and a coach. What you just did now, it's amazing. Having that understanding that, see, coaches are not therapists; they are forward thinkers.
Mhm.
They really don't dwell on the past, as it were. Where I mean, a therapist will take you down the road. What happened in the past, try to deal with it. I mean, that's really beautiful. Now, I'm happy you said, when I heard you tell me before we started the show, that you're from Tanzania, more or less. She's an African, so she will understand the African thing. She will understand the way the African thinks and all that. And coaching in Africa, uh, with respect to coaching in Europe and the Americas and all that, I don't think in the continent of Africa we've really accepted that. Uh, that thing called coaching. It is overrated. Even when you look at so many corporate organizations within the African continent, rarely invest in coaching. Now,
Yeah.
why do you think we approach life that way on this side of the, should I say, divide, as in the continent?
Um, what you say is very true. Coaching in America is if you don't have a coach, it's like, what are you doing? I mean, how can you
Mm,
live if you don't have a coach? In Europe already, coaching is still seen as a coaching. There's still that confusion with therapy. It's like,
mm,
oh, okay, you've got a coach. All right. Okay. So you're kind of weak. Um, there's still that stigma there.
yeah.
Where, so that's in Europe. Then you go to Africa, and I mean, the continent of Africa. And I hate generalizations, but I think this one is relatively true. Life is so hard on a
Mm,
day-to-day basis there.
mm,
That for a lot of people, their goal is eating tonight. All
mm,
right. So don't talk to me about getting a coach. I don't need a coach, all right, to talk to me about, frilly stuff. I just need to go out and work so that I can feed my family tonight. Um, and I think it's just a different mindset completely there with people.
Mm,
It's society is different. You still have that. You still have respect for the elders. As I think you only find that in Africa, maybe in Asia as well. It's like that is
mm,
instilled into kids. You will respect your elders,
mm-hmm.
and if you don't, there are repercussions. In America and Europe, that's all gone. That's all gone. So the fact that the society is different, the elders are a big part of life, of everybody's life. The children,
Mm,
the adults. You're there with your parents, your grandparents. So I guess somewhere you have that support network within your family. And I
yeah.
think maybe because in Europe the family has become so fragmented, um,
Mm,
that they don't have the fundamental support network that the, let's say, traditional family unit would give. That could be a reason. I'm not even going into the financial aspects of coaching. I'm looking really at the sort of the cultural ideals. If everybody in Africa could afford to have a coach, would they go for coaching? I don't know, because they have that familial support system.
mm,
So
mm.
it's interesting. It's interesting, to see how it will take off. I think coaching will come into Africa first through the corporate front, because I think the corporates will have their coaching set
Yeah.
up elsewhere in the world, and that they will filter that down to their offices in on the African continent,
Mm,
and then maybe we'll see a change. But I do
beautiful.
believe that society is much stronger in Africa.
Yeah. Well, you have a point there. Where you have your, like you said, we're trained to respect the elderly, and at the same time, every family somehow you either have the maternal or the paternal uh grandparents there to
Hmm.
to serve as a support, to guide, to talk to the children, the grandchildren, more or less. Now you've come to see that we live, so to say, the upbringing of the children to the grandparents. Like they do the talking, those folklores, the tales, and they share those
Yeah.
stories. And you say, look at your mommy, look at your daddy. You see those things in them. Yes, I put them there. That your grandma, grandpa did that. So somehow that should I say support system really covers for the coaching, like you said. But true, the corporate world within the African continent will also, like, should I say, introduce that. And it's picking up gradually, because I see it even here in Nigeria. I see it picking up. You have some coaches within different spaces. Even in the banking sector, you see you bring in a coach to, like, talk to the bankers, advise them, let them see how they can do better in their businesses and all of that. It's beautiful. Now, can you share with us one story that each time you go back there in your coaching business, I mean, you come to see that, yes, this is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. It gives you that energy, that drive, to keep on going. One of your success stories.
Oh, that's a tough one, because for me, coaching is I love coaching. I can wake up in the
Mm,
morning and feel miserable, angry, frustrated, irritated, all of those things. And I have a coaching session and
mm,
I'm like, yes, it's just
yes.
really, it's just being there, and being able to support other people navigate their lives. And
Yeah.
I think for me, I was one of the people who and
Mm,
I was one of those people who didn't want to ask for help because it was a sign of weakness. Okay,
mm,
I now realize how much strength it takes to actually, admit that you need help. It's a sign of
yeah.
strength rather than weakness. And
Mm,
being able to support people through transitions, through change, through difficult periods in their life, through, and see them come out and see them make those, see them have those aha moments. And that literally, I mean, you asked me for one, I've got 10 in my head. I mean, I had a client who, I was talking with her and she suddenly realized that, she was fundamentally an empath, but that she'd been told her whole life that, you can't be empathetic because, you're just fodder for people who are going to abuse you and use you, and
Mm,
they'll take advantage. You can't be empathetic. And she'd spent her whole life fighting her true
mm,
self. And once she realized that, and I mean, it was amazing, because really it happened in a matter of seconds. She sat there and she just went, you know what? I'm an empath and I
mm,
like it. I want to help people. And if me helping people upsets other people, well, then that's not my problem. So
mm,
having moments like that, being able to help people realize that they have options, that they have choices. Every session that I have will come up with a story,
mm,
of how people, take a breath and get that clarity. And knowing that I have the tools, because I don't give answers. I never give answers, because it's not my place to give answers to you. I don't know your life. I know what you've told me.
mm,
But
mhm,
even if something resonates with me and I'm like, oh, that happened to me and I did this and it worked out really well. It worked out for me doesn't mean it'll work out for you. So I don't give
mm,
answers, I give you space. I give you space and I ask you the questions so that you search inside yourself, because I believe that you have the answers. You just need to be given the opportunity to have the courage also, because when you come to see me, when you sit with me, that hour is yours and I am not there to judge you. I will never judge. I don't judge in any case, but especially I don't judge my clients ever.
mm.
My only aim is to help you achieve what it is that you want to achieve at the end of that hour, at the end of our time together.
Mm.
My attachment is to your outcome, what you want, and I will
Beautiful.
do everything that I can to help open your mind to how you can get there.
Amazing. I don't give you answers, I give you space. That is profound, Tiffany. That is profound. I think I don't give you answers, I give you space, because the answer is just there looking at you, is the opportunity for you to search, And you said something about when you were talking about the empath now, like embracing who you really are, your true self.
Mhm.
When you embrace who you really are, you come to see that the possibilities are just endless. They just open up like, this quantum universe, so to say. You see yourself going into that space and you begin to like draw and draw from those resources and becoming yourself more like that thing you said, space, not answers. That is what I bring to you. I bring space to you. I let you see the space. You have all the space, like 60 yards, 50 yards, like a whole football pitch to you. So you have the possibilities to run around, bring up your energy and all that. You have a unique way, I must say, and it is truly special. Guys, we've been talking with Tiffany Barnard. I mean, you will agree with me, it's been an amazing time. She pointing us to that very essence of coaching that we needed, to survive. We need not just to survive, to live. We need coaching to live, not to survive. It's been an amazing, amazing moment. Tiffany, I want to say a very big thank you to you for accepting this, to do this with us. I know you're a very busy person, so I'm going to ask you two more questions and I'll let you go. Now, you're a mother of two, a girl and a boy. Correct me
Mhm.
if I'm wrong.
Yep. Nope.
Oh,
Correct.
all right then. Now, share with us how you've been able to also bring them into this space for them to find the answers they need to find their path in life. Because I know my audience, I have mothers, fathers who are also
Mhm.
dealing with children, and they always want to give them the answers. But I want you to show us not the answers, the space. How have you been dealing with them?
That is a beautiful question, actually, and one that's very close to my heart. And if there was one thing, so as I said, many life experiences, a lot of them not pleasant, but if there's one thing that I would change, it would be learning how to communicate with my children earlier. I would relive everything else, but that would be the one thing
Mm,
that I would like to change. So first of all, I think if you've got young children, okay, it's
mm,
very easy to believe that our problems are bigger, more important, I remember my daughter would come home from school and she'd be like 7 years old and she'd be like, "Oh my God, you can't believe, and so has been nasty to me and she's not my friend anymore and I'm not inviting her to my party and but I like so and so." And I'm like, this is all going to change next week. So really, what is the point in listening? It was just too much when I had to deal with everything else. And so I kind of belittled her issues until somebody, and I really wish I could remember who it was who told me this. They said, "That's her life. Those problems are as big as your business problems, you know.
true.
They're as big, they're as important. That's her whole life." And I had
Mm-hmm.
this massive aha moment. There was like a slap in my face, and I felt horrible because I was like, that is so true. It's like, and from that time on, I would sit there and I would listen. And I would
Mm,
try and be present, because that's the other thing that
mm,
we tend to do as parents is like the kids will come up and they'll go, "I've got this problem." And you go, "Tell me about it." And they say one sentence, "We've already decided what the problem is. We've come up with the solution and
mm,
we're interrupting because we
mm-hmm.
know what the answer is."
Mm.
And we shouldn't do that. We
Okay.
should be present. We should listen. Very often, kids just want to vent. They just want to tell us about their day. They want to have a vent about who's doing what to who and how awful it is and how horrible the
Mm,
world is. And they don't actually want any solutions. So, if I was to give parents today of really any age advice, I would say to them, be present with your children, listen
mm,
to what they're saying, put your phone
mm,
down. Put your phone
mm,
down. Don't do that. It's like switch off the TV. Be present with them. Listen to what they
mm,
have to say. Listen for the emotions. I'm feeling this, and that made me sad, or that made me feel uncomfortable. Ask questions about that. Ask questions
mm,
about the emotions. Where's that coming from? What can you do to
mm.
fix it? What would you like to do differently? Um, and don't try and solve everything. You can always ask your kids, be curious with everybody, but especially
Yes.
with your kids. Be curious. Do you want me to help you find a solution, or do you want me to just listen to you? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
if they
Beautiful.
say something you don't understand, ask them for clarification. I heard this. What did you mean? You know?
Mm, yeah. Amazing. Be present. They just want to
Yeah.
ventilate. And when you said they just want to ventilate, what came to my mind was you're the ventilator, so relax. They just want to ventilate. They want you to
Yeah.
help them ventilate. you know,
Yeah. Yeah. They
get out,
just be there.
be
That's
there,
all.
be
Yeah.
there. Amazing, beautiful. Thank you so much, Tiffany. Thank you. Now, for my audience to know how to catch you, where to catch you, if they want to more of Tiffany, they want to like get more of you and what have you. So, how do we reach you?
Oh, okay. So there's two places that you can find me. One is on LinkedIn. Just look for Tiffany Barnard,
Mm,
Barnard.
mm,
And the other one is on my website. So that would be tiffanybarnardaltogether.com.
oh,
And you can find out more about me. I am an ICF, which is the International Coaching Federation accredited ACC coach. So I sign up to their code of ethics,
mm,
and as well as being an IPEC certified professional coach. So yeah, you can find me either on LinkedIn or tiffanybarnard.com. And anybody who calls me from your podcast, I would like
amazing,
to offer them
amazing.
15% discount on the first four
Awesome.
sessions.
Awesome. Awesome. Guys, you heard her. You see, from the Word Cafe, you have a discount now to spend that amazing time with
Yeah,
Tiffany. And
yeah.
I must tell you, doing this, should I say 30 minutes plus time with her, I have gotten so much, you know, like when she said, it's not about the answers, it's about the space, finding the space. When you find the space, the possibilities present themselves to you, like plethora of them, and you begin to like make the choices you actually need to make. Clarity helps choice making. She said that, and I picked that. So you can see in less than 20 minutes, I've gone through a coaching session with Tiffany. Amazing. Amazing. Tiffany, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking our
My
time to
pleasure.
do this, with me. Now, before I let you go, I know I said two last questions, but this is your moment. Just say something to somebody out there, and then, that you feel should hear this very moment.
Oh, put me on the spot. Put me on the spot. I would say to everybody that it's never too late to start. Very often we think, oh, I'd love to do that, but I'm too old, or it's too late, or it's never too late to start. So, whatever it is that you want to change in your life, be it the way that you are a parent, the way that you are a spouse, the way that you are at work, even if you want to change the work that you do, if you're not happy with something that is going on in your life, you are in control. You can
Mm,
make that change. And it
mm.
is never too late to start, ever. So do something today that your future self will say thank you for.
Amazing. Do something today that your future self will say thank you for. Guys, that was from Tiffany Barnard. An amazing way to end her time here within the Word Cafe live show. Thank you so much. Guys, we always prepare something special for you. Bring those amazing thoughts, amazing personalities on the show. And Tiffany is one of them. Want to say a very big thank you to her for taking
Thank
out
you.
time to come. And please take the advantage she has, given the 50% discount. Go ahead, reach her. You can search for her on LinkedIn, Tiffany Barnard. It is let me see, should I don't get it wrong? Barnard, Barnard. So you won't miss that on uh, LinkedIn or oneword.com. So that's Tiffany Barnard one.com. So
Exactly.
you can
Exactly.
always, yes, catch her there. Thank you so much. And like we always say it on the show, this is the space where we come, together to lean on one another's experience to forge a positive path. Until I come your way again. Bye for now. Tiffany,
Thank you so much. You take care, and all of you have a fabulous week.
amazing.
Thank you.